Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Kingdom of Charlemagne. It is currently the winter of 768 AD. Last episode we captured Angoulême from the Gasconians, or rather the Aquitanians, I'm going to say. And now Charlemagne is just kicking it real good, and Angoulême just taking a quick breather, I suppose. And just before I hit record, off camera, I've done a few things. Firstly, I'm going to convert the village of Nantes to a market village. It was a manor before. I am moving Eggihard, our general from Ghent, from Phrygia, rather, I suppose, over to our capital in Aachen, because I was going to move there to recruit a bunch of units, because we actually have a big old barracks there, a muster hall. And on the way, we've spotted a Saxon army led by Wulfstan. I shouldn't say spotted him because he actually marched out. It looks to me like he is heading towards Aachen, but we'll beat him to it. The only thing is we're going to suffer a bunch of attrition on the way. We're going to march 50 kilometers through this really dense forest, and we're probably going to somehow shed 200 men. They're all going to die in the knee-high snow, I guess, in northern France, and that's a little bit shitty. We also have this little tiny army led by Bernard of Gascony, I'm going to say, and he is also going to suffer attrition. We have our very own army led by Anselm, a big-ass army with 13 units, and you know what, he's just going to move to keep an eye on Bernard. We don't want to follow and chase Bernard. I mean, we could follow him into the winter Wonderland, which he is currently residing in, but I think instead we'll head to Tours, and if he goes, see, look at that, we didn't even suffer, we suffered barely any attrition heading from Poitiers to Tours, whereas if we were going to head to Bourges, I would assume we were going to take, a massive amount of casualties. I don't know where these guys are going. They were recently poisoned or something by this assassin of Carloman's kingdom. I wonder if we can actually catch up to these guys with our very own spy and do a bit of poisoning, or, can we maybe stop them in their tracks and catch them with Anselm? It doesn't appear so we're going to instead head down south. The idea, I think, here is we'll take Charlemagne's army. I think we want it to be a little bit stronger before we march on. He's going to head south and basically dismantle the Aquitanians as well as the Gasconians, and I really want Anselm to support, but we'll just have Anselm kick it in Tours for now until Bernard has disappeared. I wonder if perhaps we can march and capture Agen and Bayonne before we march on Bordeaux. We can kind of starve them out, because if we attack Bordeaux directly, we're going to suffer some casualties. It's quite a large and defensible city. And I can see that they're already raising another army, Crusaders of the Eternal City, led by Gistama. I don't really want to have to deal with these guys behind the walls of Bordeaux, so I think what I'll do is I'll raise a few more units here. So we've got 4 cavalry units, 3 pretty heavily armored cavalry units, I'm going to say. Skolacav and the general's unit, obviously, are very heavily armored. So instead, I think we'll go for, some slingers would be nice, because right now we're dealing with a lot of really lightly armored units, so their slinger bullets are really effective. But unfortunately, I'm not sure we even have slingers in our roster at all. Hard to say. Although I think what I want to do right now is actually build and upgrade this barracks in Poitiers, so that we can finally get some armored units. Some armored spearmen and armored swordsmen, that would be good. As for Angoulême, we'll keep it as an agrarian city, I suppose. We've got a farm and a manor already, so that's going to feed the rest of the province. I don't know why we have issues with public order here. I suppose it's mostly taxes and instability. So we're going to be suffering from public order issues for a little bit, until I suppose we upgrade our royal court, or build some other buildings, which is going to take a couple of turns here to get the population. At the very least, though, as I said, we'll recruit some units for Charlemagne. I think 2 more units of spears and another unit of swordsmen is a good start. We've also encountered the Kingdom of Mercia because they actually sailed a little ship by our coasts. So as a result, I think we'll open up some diplomacy with the Britons right now. We have the Kingdom of Kent. We can't trade with them. So, you know, let's try to trade with Mercia. Apparently they very much want a trade agreement. Oh shit, look at this guy's fucking helmet. His helmet slash crown. I mean, Charlemagne's crown is pretty swell, but this is like a whole another level. Look at that nasal thing. He looks like a fucking pelican with that thing. Like he might just peck out your eyes if you piss him off enough. Like, oh, tread carefully. Offa the pecker. Offa the peckerhead is coming around the corner, and he might just go ballistic on your innards if you piss him off. Anyway, we want a trade agreement. We probably also want like a non-aggression pact just to sweeten the deal. I'm going to demand some coin as well. A couple ducats, as it were. I'm going to say 750. Huh? What do you... I think that ought to be good. No, it's not enough. 1250? Is that enough? Okay, he's not pleased with 1250. So perhaps 1,000 ducats from the Kingdom of Mercia. And he has rejected our offer because he dislikes the Welsh. I'm going to say he received this little message and he said, you know what, not good enough. Go kill another Welshman, please. Please dislodge him from whatever sheep he's behind. And be sure to throw him into a deep ditch somewhere. Okay, so we're going to get a non-aggression pact and we'll demand, I don't know, 750 ducats. And that's good enough for us. One thing that bothers me is that the Britons sound so barbarian, I guess. I mean, technically they're Germanic, you know, Anglo-Saxon at this point in time. Actually, no, you know what? Thinking about it, it does make sense. But it's just very odd to listen to, like, Carloman and how fucking sophisticated he sounds compared to the Kingdom of Mercia. Speaking of Carloman, can we perhaps chat him up? Hello, my brother.
In our good name,
Yes. Oh, in our good name, be welcome. And speak in friendship. I'm a very well-educated Frank. Can we get military access? I think we'd like military access with our brother at some point. I don't necessarily want to, you know, pay for it though. That's the only thing. And even so, he doesn't want it. So we'll forget about our brother for now. Who else can we trade with? Perhaps Bohemia? Spilito, Lombards. The Lombards are not going to want to trade. Let us attempt to trade with the Bohemian. No, they're not interested either. Okay, you know what? We'll leave it at that. We have talked to the Mercians, and we have garnered a little bit of trade. We've also built a chapel in Frankfurt, which is nice. I think for now, eventually I think I want Hallstatt to be like a commercial center because we have a cloth weaver here, so we can easily stack that commerce. Well, it could be a commerce center or an industrial center. I would think maybe a hybrid of both just to, you know, take advantage of those resources. But that aside, for now we'll leave it as a church. We want this church and we want this chapel to combat the pagans that are somehow finding their way across our borders. They're weaseling their way across our borders through these forests, and they're settling within the vicinity of Hallstatt. Or, likewise, or alternatively rather, there's like pagan priests coming down and doing witchcraft and converting our people, I suppose. But I want to have some churches here to combat the paganism, but also to combat the public order issues, because we're going to have a huge amount of them. We keep getting raided by the Angrians. So I think in order to combat this, the first thing we'll do is get a governor. I recently appointed Odo as the governor of West Neustria because he is a merchant. So he will increase the commerce income coming out of West Neustria. So as a result, West Neustria is now one of our most successful provinces, income-wise, I'm going to say. We do want another governor for Franconia, though, so that we can issue an edict. And I think Redbad is our guy. Egehard is a scholar, which is not great. Ragenfried is an entrepreneur. Actually, you know what? We could put Ragenfried in Franconia because we have that salt resource. We'll put Ragenfried in. Well, I don't know. Is tax better than industry? I would say so. Okay, you know what? We'll put Redbad in for the tax income into Franconia. There we go. And as a result, we'll put an edict. Put forth an edict. I don't know. Enact an edict, I guess, would be like the really proper terminology. We will enact bread and circuses, as we have done in West Neustria as well. There we are. And now we've also, you know what, we've also recruited a shit ton of units. But it is not the end yet. What we want to do, I believe, is raise yet another fucking army in Frankfurt so that we can... Do you guys like how fruity I sound when I say Frankfurt? Hello, my name is Hans. I'm from Frankfurt. And I like the Franks, you know what I mean? I don't know what I mean. Even I don't get that joke. Okay, so we're going to raise an army in Frankfurt. We currently don't have a garrison because our manor is ruined. It is destroyed, and it's going to cost 2,000 gold to repair it. And I don't want to drop that because we know the Angrians are right around the corner. They're going to pop out of the fucking bushes and destroy us. So we'll raise an army to act as garrison in Frankfurt. Unfortunately, we don't actually have any good generals aside from Roland, who has the marksman trait, which is near useless. And he's also boring, so his authority is real shit. I almost want to put Egehard and Ragenfried in this position, but I won't, because I'm a dummy. But also, it doesn't make sense. As useless as the marksman trait is, I mean, it's not entirely useless, because we will, of course, recruit some bowmen eventually. And you know what? Do we want infantry right off the bat to defend with? Or do we want some cavalry? We want some cavalry, definitely. No, we don't, actually. Because we have quite a bit of cavalry in Roland. So we'll get 3 units of levy spears. There we are. And not only that, coming back to the general thing, if possible, I want Egehard and Ragenfried as governors. So I'm going to leave them aside before anything else. As for, like, these positions, Egehard is our general in Frisia. Anselm is our marshal, so he has a bonus to integrity and loyalty. I think we want to put, like, Roland, perhaps, into Comés, so he gets the morale training, rather. That couldn't hurt. Remigius is a governor in Frisia. He does not have enough influence to do anything. Odo is a governor in West Neustria, so let's place him as, I'm going to say, probably Missi Dominici, although eventually, once we get some really well-established, income centers, we'll put our governors in, like, Seneschal. But for now, we'll just put Odo in Missi Dominici. And we can also put Egehard as a Comés. I'm pretty sure that's pronounced like Comés, as in Latin, like Mille, Comé. I'm not sure. We've also got Charlemagne himself, who apparently can't take a position because he's like the fucking king, basically. But I think that's pretty much it, aside from moving Egehard into Aachen. He is going to, of course, take some attrition, but my worry is that the Saxons are going to come and besiege Aachen, or Aachen, I suppose, is how you would say that. But now that we've placed Egehard here, it's going to possibly turn this guy around towards Ghent. If that's the case, we'll just attack him there. But for now, what we want to do is, yes, recruit some of these really strong units. For example, we definitely want some swordsmen and another unit of skirmishers. There we go. And that's not a bad army. We have 10 units here, which may very well be enough to take on these guys here. They have 1 unit of cavalry, so perhaps that should be our focus. We've got Egehard here and 2 more units of Frankish horsemen. So maybe next turn, if we are able, we'll recruit some more infantry just to meet them on their strongest front, which is melee infantry, CIX band, axe warriors, etc. They can very easily cut through our spears, so we just want to counter that as best we can. Now we have 900 ducats left. What do we want to blow that on? And can we? I'm going to say the answer is nothing. We can't blow our ducats on anything. I think what I want to do eventually actually is go to East Neustria and recruit some spies or some assassins. I really need some eyes on this front here. We have this really long united front from Utrecht all the way through Osnabrück down to Erfurt, which it's just shrouded in mystery. I mean, the Angrians could be a turn away from Frankfurt, and they may just wipe Roland right off the map. I have no idea. So, if possible, next turn we should recruit an agent. Speaking of our very own agent, this guy is... Look at that. I already told him to head down to... You know, let's take a look at Bordeaux before anything else. And for now, let's just end the turn, because there's not much else we can do. I'm a little worried about the northern front, but hey, we'll see what happens. Here we go. Okay, for some ungodly reason, for some unknown reason, there's a political obstruction. So now Odo is having issues getting his office. I don't know. Charlemagne's just going to decree. Egehard had no issues. Roland had no issues. It's just Odo. Odo had issues. So things are looking up. We have some population in West Neustria, which we are not going to do anything with for now. Not so great, though. The Saxons have actually marched and besieged Aachen. So now we are stuck in the city. Luckily for us, though, they have really shitty integrity. So if we were to march out and attack them with our garrison, etc., we probably could crush them, and their remnants would be strewn to the wind due to their integrity. We have also been attacked in Bourges by the Gasconians, who have suffered some attrition, and we can probably march to reinforce with Anselm. Although I just noticed Anselm's integrity is not that great either. It looks to me, though, we can just get within reinforcement range of the city if we are careful. Okay, so he's going to march out to reinforce. Actually, can we reinforce? Yes, it appears so. Okay, well, I guess if Bernard really wants to attack Bourges, he can do. It looks like we're going to have some issues heading further south, though. I've just noticed. This is really interesting, actually. The zone of control around Bordeaux actually crosses, or sorry, blocks one of the only river crossings. So if you want to cross, you actually have to capture Bordeaux or go the long fucking way around. I love that. I didn't notice that, but that is interesting as all hell. It is currently spring, so I think Charlemagne is going to have enough movement to march south. The only thing is he is unsupported. I kind of want to wait for Anselm. His army is pretty big, 15 units, but it can be even bigger. So let's recruit another unit of swordsmen, 2 more units of bowmen, and that's pretty much, it's a pretty solid army for Charlemagne. And by the time he's done that army, it'll be summer by the time Anselm shows up, maybe fall, maybe winter. I just don't want to go in with one army. If anything, I want Anselm positioned in Angoulême so that we don't have to deal with, you know, our flanks being attacked by the Aquitanians. Anyway, that's the southern front on the north. It appears to me that Roland is doing pretty well as far as recruitment goes. We'll round out the army with some missile units, and we'll get a little bit of cavalry next term as well. We have encountered the Duchy of Provence in Marseille. Man, the pronunciation is rusty. Oh, man. I didn't realize how mountainous and hilly southern France was. Like, I kind of understood, you know, over by the Alps here it would be very mountainous, but I don't remember, you know, from all my years of playing Medieval 2, seeing all these mountains here. But obviously, my memory's foggy, or that map is not, you know, accurate. But anyway, looking at southern France, we can see that the Duchy of Provence has perhaps declared independence of Carloman, or now they are a puppet state of Carloman. So regardless, we'll start to trade with these guys, but we will of course try to get some cash out of them. 500? No, 250? I think 300 is probably going to be the money. Right on the nose. There we are. Excellent. So we're actually going around the entire Iberian Peninsula to trade with these dickheads because we don't actually have a port on the Mediterranean Sea. Interesting. It's nice though. We are now trading with these guys. I think we ought to talk to Carloman. Maybe we can get him to join some of our wars. Can you join in the war against any of these dickheads? I'm going to say Angria probably is the biggest one. If we were to, I don't know, pay you... How much cash do we have? 3,400. We'll go 1,000 ducats? No. I don't think we're going to be able to get Carloman to join our wars. What would he say if we were to declare war? Okay, oh, I completely forgotten we are allied with Obodrite. Perhaps we should speak with them. Obodrite, where are you, my friend? Obodrite. Ah, military alliance. Perhaps you can join my war against... Angria? Why is it I can't call any of my allies into war, even if I give them 1,000 coins? Come on. Please, Obodrite, I'll suck your dick. Just join my war. I desperately need allies in the... Oh, they might do it. No, they've rejected. Okay, it's not worth it for now. Maybe once we get a little bit more cash. We will, of course, just continue to recruit and build our armies in the north. I think once we have like half a stack in both of these armies, it'll be enough to defend with anyway. We've met the Emirate of Cordoba. Perhaps we can begin talks with them as well. They don't really like us because we're Christian. Obviously, there's some bad blood between the Emirate of Cordoba and our forebears. But let's not get into that right now. We've built a massive farm in Bayo, I'm going to say. And that's great. We'll leave it at that. We've completed a market village. We've researched Lex Salica, which gives us 2 public order. So I think we'll research replenishment right off the bat so we can get some... we'll research logistics so that we'll get an increase in replenishment, which will be crucial as we defend. Odo, our priest in Franconia, has gained a skill, and I think what we want to do right off the bat is increase his religious rhetoric and also his public order bonus. So that should stem the flow of angry bastards in Franconia. So let's look at this. War weariness, religious difference, banditry. Wonderful. And instability. These are all issues plaguing Franconia right now. That's just fine. So oh my gosh, we've recruited a shit ton of units. All of them, nearly all of them, happen to be spearmen. And I think the only thing left for us to do is very quickly just break the siege of Aachen. So we currently have 1,600 men, which is pretty much an equal match for the Saxons' 1,500. For some reason, the balance of power is not in our favor. We've got 1 unit of swordsmen, a lot of spears, and very few missile troops. but we have quite a bit more cavalry than they have, so maybe we'll be able to fight this and utilize our cavalry. So anyway, everyone, I'm going to try to fight this battle as quickly as we can for the end of the episode, and I will see you all on our battlefield as soon as we take a look. Okay, so it's going to be not ideal. It looks like we're in a valley or something. Regardless, though, I'll see you all on the battlefield. Well, unfortunately for us, we are fighting this on, like, the most boring fucking battlefield known to man. I mean, look how flat and featureless it is. It's like, it reminds me of Saskatchewan. For you Canadians out there, this is basically, or for you non-Canadians, I should say, this is basically Saskatchewan, the entire province. It's just, like, fucking flat as hell, or at least the southern parts are. Weirdly enough, you can actually find, like, sand dunes in Canada. Not many people know that, but you can actually find, like, full-on Arabian sand dunes in some areas of Canada. I believe northern Saskatchewan being one of them. You heard it here first, folks. If you'd like to unsubscribe from sand dune facts, just reply unsubscribe. That would be great. Okay, so we're just forming our lines very quickly. I'm going to speed ahead. So they have the definite edge as far as infantry goes. They're Seax and Axe warriors, and their general unit as well. He's a very heavily armored sword unit. They can just tear through our levy spears. So I think what we need to do is utilize our missiles as best as we can. We are legitimately 100% equal as far as missiles go. I think, though, the key is we have cavalry that we can use to disrupt. So I'm going to put Egahard with his heavy cav on one flank. And actually, you know what? We'll turn around and we'll put Egahard somewhere in the center. We'll put some Frankish horsemen way on the flank. We'll see how these guys react. And we'll put these Franks on the flank as well. Okay, so the idea here is we will use our cavalry to kind of, disrupt the formation and push their missile units back so that we can utilize our missile units better. They're about ready to begin firing on our formations, so let's try to disrupt them as much as possible. There we are, so we can get some missiles off. And we'll try to draw... Hold on. Let's begin firing at their scout cavalry first and foremost. If we can destroy their scout cav, we will do much better. I also think I want to take the first 3 units of spears and draw a really thin line. Actually, no. We'll take the center and draw a thin line. And we'll want some flanking units on... Well, you guessed it, the flanks. One thick line of spears is not going to be enough to withstand these infantrymen. So there we go. We've begun to disrupt their formation. They're beginning to take casualties because of the missiles. They are moving their infantry. Looks like their skirmisher cav is trying to take out some of my horsemen. They killed a couple men, but I want to really tear them apart before anything else. I want these archers to fire into the rears of these spears, if anything. Get my Franks around the flank. Okay, so the skirmisher cav has fled, unfortunately, but at the very least we can get our skirmishers out there. We'll support with some infantry. There we are. And we'll have our archers fucking fire. Man, kind of lost my train of thought. We'll have our archers fire at these Seax band in the center. These guys ought to fire at no one for now. Well, no, they'll fire at those spears. We really need to dwindle and dislodge this infantry before we do anything. So we're just going to continue to fucking ruin their formations with our cavalry. If I can get Egahard involved as well, take out these units and do a couple rear charges, man, that would be ideal. I'm going to try to get like a pincer move on these... oh shit, we got to disrupt these missiles here. Oh, if we could catch those missiles out, that would be ideal. Come on, you assholes. Okay, so we've kind of penned these dudes in. I wanted to skirmish with the enemy cavalry, but I don't think it's going to be possible. Shit, I need to pen them in somehow. It looks like the enemy missiles are in serious disarray. Let's get our units situated. We want to fire at their skirmishers. We'll get Egahard to disrupt as well. Really abuse the skirmish formation of these guys. We want our cavalry to go like far afield, I think, to screw around with these skirmisher cav. We'll fire into the rears of some of these units. Here we are. We're now beginning to fire at their skirmishers, I believe. Okay, but we've totally demolished the enemy formation. I think we'll move our spears ahead a little bit. And it seems like the music has cut out, so we've just got this like really eerie, silent soundscape right now. It's very bizarre. Let us advance with these two units. Some skirmishers backed by spears. Egahard has taken some missiles, it seems. Their missiles are beginning to fire back because they've now bunched up into their infantry. And here we go. We've now got some cavalry in play. I would like to have these skirmishers in position before we advance. Man, this lack of music is kind of freaking me out. I've never actually had that happen, I don't think. So yeah, we're going to begin firing at the general unit with our archers. Do some heavy shot on these assholes. Looks like their skirmishers are... Oh, shit. Their skirmishers are beginning to move position a little bit. But we've got 2 units of cav standing by, ready to ruin them. I just want to take out their skirmisher cav, because then they are neutered of their own cavalry, right? But now we are in position to throw some spears at these guys. I just don't want them to get... Fucking, they're charging head first into my my skirmishers, who... Oh my, that was a fucking... That was very interesting, though. That was, like, nearly an actual tactic. They charged as close as they could get, and then they released their spears. That was great. Okay, but it looks like our own cavalry is kind of useless in this position. Our bowmen are receiving a lot of fire, and they're not doing much else. Perhaps we should readdress our targets here. Let's just go for a standard shot, and we'll advance our units forward to put some pressure on these guys. For some reason, my spear selection has gone wonky. Anyway, we want to pen these dudes in as best we can. And now we've pretty much taken out the skirmisher cav. We want our cav ready to support if necessary, and our own skirmishers can retreat. Holy shit, our archers have taken a lot of... They've just taken a shit kicking. That's ridiculous. Okay, well, we'll push in with some spears because we've lost the edge on their missile units there. We have taken out their cavalry, though, so we've got full range on the situation here. These units, they really need to come like around the flanks, though. And we want our skirmishers like right here. These spears need to come something like that. These swords, I think, definitely need to move as well. As for our archers, they don't have very many arrows left, so we want to use them as best we can. Egahard is in a position right away to annihilate the missile units that are fleeing from our infantry, so we'll take them out. And our spears will begin to encircle the enemy here. So we'll want our swords to come like way around the flank. Our cavalry is going to form a position ready to annihilate all these guys as well. Oh man, this is going pretty well. My heart is pumping. We've got a lot of adrenaline going on. Our skirmishers really need to get involved here. They're going to throw spears at Wulfstan, the Saxon general. Oh my word, this is going swimmingly. Okay. We want our swords to engage. We've got a spear unit ready to support our cavalry, I would say. And then we have 2 units of cav just going to run right through the enemy missile units, and we need a unit of spears on standby to deal with these two enemies units here. Oh shit, it's going so well. Okay, Egahard is going to retreat. Our skirmishers are going to do their dirty business as we built a spear wall to deal with Wolfstan. Egahard is going to absorb, or I should say take a position to... Holy shitballs, we are just tearing through these Saxons. Jesus Christ. Okay, my spears are not in a position to deal with Wolfstan right now. Okay, my cavalry is retreating. Let's... Oh man, let's readdress. We don't want that unit. We want to build a spear wall, something like that, to deal with these two units. Our swords will continue to tear through that Siax band. Egahard is going to deal with those skirmishers. Our spears are going to... You know what? Let's just halt these spears here. And we'll just build a general spiel wall. Wow. I'm still stumbling. General spear wall. And our cav is going to come around the flank here to deal with these axe warriors. I think if we charge these axe warriors and these sea axe warriors, that'll definitely do a lot of damage. We are receiving some casualties, though, because Wolfstan... Or, sorry, I should say, holy shit, they're just going straight for my fucking cav. What is wrong with these guys? Let's tie them up, boys. Okay, we'll charge with our spears. We want to get rid of these archer units. Egahard is going to disengage from those skirmishers because we've dealt with them. Our cavalry is going to come around the flank. Our swords need to get involved as well. Okay, so we've charged into those axe warriors, and our cavalry is going to finish off the sea axe warriors there. Here we go. Boom! Quite the fucking charge, and quite like a desolate and sad battlefield. Okay, but we've thrown enough spears at Wolfstan, so we'll have to pull out with our skirmishers. Maybe they can tie up these sea axe band. Egahard is ready to take out some units. We are going to crush these sea axe warriors, these mercenaries. They've turned to absorb the charge, but it's not enough. And now we are going to pen in Wolfstan with a nice shield wall so that Egahard can deal with him. We want to just really round up the remaining units. Oh my, it's beautiful, everyone. Our spears need to handle these guys, supported by our swords. Here we go. We're going to pen in Wolfstan. Egahard's dealing with some archers. We're chasing off some other archers. Man, okay. This is great. So, Wolfstan is now being surrounded by our levy, which is perfect. We want some cavalry there to really drive it home, supported by skirmishers. Our archers are useless. Our swords are useless as well. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Let's form a spear wall, take some of these units out. Okay, let's take all of our spears out, actually, and let our swords do the dirty work. Dirty bit. Okay, we've now got... Oh, we didn't even need to move in with the cavalry. Holy shit. That battle went swimmingly, you guys. Like, I feel like a fucking military genius after that. I don't mean to, you know, toot my own horn, but... That was fucking crazy. I don't think we've gotten Wolfstan yet. I think Wolfstan, Jesus fucking Christ, that was brutal. And then his body gets trampled immediately by our horsemen. Did you guys see that? That guy got, like, fucking decapitated by a spearman. Like, what is this guy wielding? What is that implement? What is that farming implement? I don't know. Ulfric, you have to tell me. What is that fucking thing? Jesus Christ, are they all armed with that? No, some of them actually have spears, and some of them have, like, whatever the hell that is. It's like a proto-scythe, I'm gonna say. But there we go, we've won the battle, and it was a decisive victory. I would say it was, like, a heroic victory. We lost very few troops, if any. 400 levy spearmen. We didn't lose any troops out of, like, any of our other units, I would say. All of our cavalry is intact. Our missile units, for the most part, are intact. I feel sorry for Wolfstan. What a what a like abysmal end on the rainy fields just outside of Aachen. I don't believe it. That went so well. Anyway, we're going to try to replenish Eggahard's army a little bit. Probably recruit some swords so we don't have to deal with the Sax band, because I would assume the Saxons have a lot more swordsmen than I do. For some odd reason, I would assume that. Man, we can even, like, take on warriors. Yeah, none of our units are bricked as a result of that battle, so it's great. Okay, what was I originally recruiting? Some swords and some archers? Okay. Very well. I think Eggahard has gained a rank as well. He's gained some household. Oh my god. A bodyguard. A quintain. A Saxon turncoat. A strategist. A siege expert. A bloodhound. A Gepid turncoat. A master blacksmith. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 household gained in that battle. Jesus fucking Christ, Eggahard. I don't believe it. So he's gained a bodyguard. We don't want that. And look at that. They're like all enemy units. Or I should say, they're all like people. Household companions, it's the word. Okay, so I would think right away we're going to want like a Gepid turncoat so we don't have to... Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll just finish recruiting our missile units, and then next turn when we get that turncoat we can utilize the bonus. We're also getting a quintain, which I guess is like the jousting thing. But it doesn't actually give us any bonuses, which is odd. Anyway, we'll put a fucking point into Commander, so that will increase his authority. I think eventually we want to increase his cunning. I don't know. Let's also use Trainer. That will be good. Let's not forget here we are on the defensive, so we just need to have some really, you know, it's like a quality over quantity sort of situation, usually when you're on the defensive, especially when we've got lots of enemy stacks coming to attack our half stacks. That's my biggest worry, is that, like, the Duchy of Frisia is going to show up with a full fucking stack, try to capture Ghent, try to unify all of Phrygia. Who would have thunk? Same with the Angrians, they've got a lot of men. Whereas we don't really, not yet. All of our men are on the southern warfront. So we will deal with that next episode. Anyway, everyone, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like, please leave a comment. If you want to keep in touch with me, check me out on social media, Twitter, Facebook, all that shit. And I will see you guys with yet another episode of our Charlemagne campaign.